Lee Steele's header to Steve Kerrigan. Steele gets the return pass and scores. The perfect 1-2 from the strikers. Carves a hole through that Cheltenham defence. And Lee Steele working perfectly with Steve Kerrigan. Well, if ever there was an example of how two strikers should work together, that is it. Freeman stranded.
Curry, nice touch. Gets it back from Charlery. Well, lovely stuff from Curry. Not a bad try, and that's a terrific goal. What a sensational goal from Barnet's playmaker. He teased 2 or 3 Swansea defenders. I think Freestone got something on the shot, but Curry has given the league leaders the lead. He looked to be going nowhere for a moment here. White shirts all around him. Trickery with the right. The little drag back. And again, 2 of them taken out the play. And the left foot curling shot, which Freestone could only palm into the net. Howard. They haven't given up, Swansea. Just didn't fall for Thomas. Howard has it back though. O'Leary. Trying to find that telling final ball. Maybe Thomas can provide something. He can! Oh, a terrific goal from Martin Thomas out of nothing. Well, just what Swansea deserve. They've been pressing for much of the game without really finding a telling final ball, and that is a superb strike. 2 minutes for Swansea to try and find a real last gasp winner. Here's McLeish for Barnet. Good trickery into Charlery, and Barnet have stolen it in injury time through Ken Charlery's header, and Swansea, having done all the hard work to get back in it, as Freestone looks devastated, have given it away in time added on. Well, McLeish did really well here. He took out Bound, he picked his man out, and Charlery with a perfectly placed header.
Rochdale overcame the dismissal of Keith Hill and dominated Darlington, whose manager David Hodgson said this performance was the worst he'd seen from his side for a very long time. In fact, Rochdale could even have won it with 10 men, but Tony Ford was unable to make this chance count. Hartlepool took the lead at Northampton's Sixfield Stadium through former trainee Tommy Miller, but Northampton, inspired by a recent improvement in form, rallied to take the points. Former Hartlepool striker Steve Howard scored twice against his former team. Before this, he'd only scored once since his move last February. His second goal of the game sent his old club home with nothing, except a promise from manager Chris Turner to strengthen Hartlepool's squad. It also extended Northampton's unbeaten run to 5 games. Early indiscretion from Chris Burns made life difficult for Macclesfield. In his effort to clear the danger, he used a little unauthorised help. Handball in the box allowed Neil Tolson the chance to score with his second penalty in successive matches for Southend. This his 4th goal of the season. Macclesfield then gifted Southend a 2-goal advantage. Ray Ingram's header directed past his own goalkeeper. The threat of recovery was inspired by striker Richie Barker. Inconsistency dogged him at Brighton, but his 3rd goal in 3 games provided a new club record. In terms of the game itself, it was merely consolation. York City ended a run of 4 successive defeats with a goalless draw against Peterborough. They almost snatched a win, but Barry Conlon's free kick was a couple of inches too wide. Halifax are on a roll, and coming from behind to beat Brighton is proof of their improvement. But when on-loan keeper Chris Adamson brought down Gary Hart, things looked gloomy. Adamson was booked for his troubles, and Brighton took the lead with Darren Freeman's penalty, his 6th goal of the season. Halifax levelled with the goal of the game from last season's top scorer, Jamie Patterson. 10 goals last year, this his first of the campaign. And they then made it 3 wins out of 3 with a last-minute winner from Chris Tate. Patterson played his part in beating Keith McPherson, but Brighton won't be happy with their defending. Now Plymouth against Rotherham with Seth Conway.
In this corner, there's Heathcote! And Mick Heathcote, who celebrated his 34th birthday yesterday, has got something else to cheer today. Berry comes forward, looks to chip Sheffield. Oh, it's a wonderful goal! Trevor Berry has brought Rotherham back into this game.
Dick Tracy was on the case for Carlisle. Richard, as he's usually known, scored the winner against Lincoln, for whom this was a 4th successive defeat. It was Tracy's 4th goal of the season, more than he scored in the last 4 seasons. Torquay versus Hull now with Martin Dean.
And again, looking for the return ball this time. And going through the middle, he was nudged by Jimmy Aggrey, and that is a penalty. So, for the second time in 2 Saturdays, Neville Southall having to save a penalty, and he doesn't. John Eyre clipping the ball over his head. A little deft touch.
Simba was on the prowl for Orient at Field Mill. Frenchman Amara Simba has played and scored for Paris Saint-Germain and Monaco, amongst others. This gave Leyton Orient the lead. Like Simba, Mansfield's Lee Peacock was his club's leading scorer last season. His header levelled the scores and left both sides with a point each.
Barnet's late winner extends their advantage at the top to 3 points ahead of Exeter and Darlington. 4 clubs are a further point behind. Northampton and Southend up from mid-table to join Rochdale and Peterborough in the top 7. Chester stays stuck to the bottom. Losing their lead in the closing minute means they're 2 points behind Hartlepool. Chris Turner's team slipped down the ladder because Mansfield and York both managed to draw.